Fortnite has had a lot of SMGs over the years, and today we're going to be ranking them all. If you guys enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and use code WATSUD to support me. Let's get straight into it. Alright, so first we have the original SMG, the OG standard BR SMG. This thing is probably the worst SMG that has ever been in this game. Like, it did like 11 damage, which I'm pretty sure is like the lowest damage an SMG's ever done. I think it did like 11 damage. It might have been a bit higher in like higher rarities, but this thing just like did not do good damage. I'm pretty sure this thing like hit as hard as a pickaxe like back in the day, and the pickaxe only did like 10 damage or something like that. So like it was just bad. It did not have like great hip fire, which hip fire is kind of something you need with an SMG, considering, you know, you're going to be hip firing SMGs a lot, you know, it's kind of important. And yeah, this SMG is just not great, not good. It's probably the worst SMG in the game, even though we have this one over here, but we're not going to mention him yet. So yeah, pretty bad. All right, next we have the TAC SMG. It just got unvaulted, and you know, I'm going to put it in B. If we were talking like OG TAC SMG, like chapter 1 TAC SMG, this thing would probably be in like S or A, one of those two, but it got nerfed since then, so I think it's B. It's still a good SMG. You know, gold TAC SMG is always like one of those like special weapons you think of when you think of Fortnite. You know, it's just like a classic gold TAC SMG. You know, Dari suburbs, you gotta go there. You know, one of those like exclusive weapons, and then it wasn't exclusive anymore. But you know, to each their own, I guess. I mean, it's a good weapon. Good weapon, solid weapon. I like it. B tier. Not as good as some other not as good as some other SMGs, but you know, still solid. Suppressed SMG. I'm gonna throw this one in C tier. This SMG is trying to be like a mid-ranged SMG, which isn't really that great, because if you're running a mid-range weapon, you're running like a normal AR. You're not going to be running an SMG. If you want something that's better at spraying, then you're not going to be using this. You're going to be using like a normal SMG or a TAC SMG or something like that. This SMG is just not the best, and yeah, there's really not much else to say. Yeah, it's just not the best SMG. Could be better. I remember back in the day it was pretty good, but since then it's just doesn't hit the same. Alright, we got a few here. So we got the SMG, which I'm actually going to place in A, along with the purple and gold SMG, which I'm going to put above it slightly, because this represents like all rarities, because a bit complicated, but they split it, and this represents only purple and gold. So yeah, you might be like, oh, isn't that like the compact SMG, the P90? Well, actually, this is a purple and gold SMG, because in chapter 2 they made it the purple and gold SMG model for some reason, and they used the chapter 2 version of the P90 model on the compact SMG, even though it wasn't even in the game. So that was a bit weird, but whatever. And then in chapter 4 they like made like the purple and gold SMG the lower rarity model, because they were doing that a lot for some reason in chapter 4, like they did with this, like the scar and the revolver. Kind of weird, but they brought back the purple and gold SMG this season, even though they weren't in chapter 1. It was technically the compact SMG, but you know, whatever, you know, same model, same gun. It uses the chapter 1 texture, so you know, we're good, we're fine. You know, solid SMGs. When you think of like an SMG, you're thinking of like a standard good old SMG, and yeah, these ones definitely are like some like iconic Fortnite SMGs, solid Fortnite SMGs. You know, if you see one, you're probably gonna pick it up. So yeah. And then the compact SMG, I'm gonna put it slightly higher, because I think this one had slightly better stats than the purple and gold SMG. Had like a few more bullets in the clip, I'm pretty sure, and I think it did like the same damage with a slightly higher fire rate, so it was slightly better, but not much. So I'd probably put it on around the same tier as the normal SMGs, to be honest. Not much else to say about this one. Burst SMG, this one's gonna go top a C tier. So the burst SMG, you know, if you're trying to like hit through walls, you know, it could do a fine job, but any SMG could probably do that better. Like P90, either of these P90s probably do it better. Yeah, just its job was just outclassed, and it hasn't even been back in the game since like season 9. So I don't know if it's coming back this season for the OG season, but maybe it will. Maybe it'll be interesting. But yeah, it's alright. It's nothing crazy. I think it's still better than the suppressed SMG in its current state though. Alright, rapid fire SMG. I'm gonna put this one in A tier. So this thing, just as it says, it's rapid fire, and you're getting really quick shots off. It has a really high fire rate. I'm pretty sure it's like the second highest fire rate out of all the SMGs in the game, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, just like really good SMG, especially when you have higher rarities, and lower rarities only has 20 bullets, and Mythic only had 20 bullets for a while, which was kind of weird. But now all higher rarities have 26, which is pretty nice, pretty solid. You know, you can shoot through builds really easily. It's like this thing is like a build shredder, and it's personally one of my favorite SMGs. It's just a burst SMG, but cooler. It looks cooler. Doesn't work at all the same, but you know, they use the same model for some reason. That's kind of weird. But yeah, I like this thing. Thought it was underrated in Chapter 2 Season 2 when it first came out. No one liked it, and then they made higher rarity versions the next season, and then everyone liked it. It was kind of weird. But yeah, good, solid weapon. Not burst SMG. Rapid fire SMG. Makeshift SMG. So, surprisingly, I'm not going to put this straight in F tier. I'm not even going to put it in D tier. I'm going to put it in C tier. So the reason for this is because this is basically just attack SMG with slightly worse accuracy and I believe slightly less damage. Like, kind of weird how that works out, but you know, whatever. It's fine. I find it kind of weird that they didn't just make like a new model, like a new gun for the makeshift SMG. Instead, they just used the attack SMG model, which was kind of weird. But, you know, whatever. They even updated, like, the chapter for, like, the chapter 2 look and everything. You would have thought they would have put this on the TAC SMG, but I guess not. Yeah, it's still makeshift SMG, though. It's still bad. Just like any other makeshift weapon. None of them were good. But, yeah, it's still better than this piece of garbage. You know what I'm saying? Alright, Primal SMG. The Primal SMG was pretty good. I'm going to put it in B tier above the TAC SMG. It wasn't as good as Sprang as these A tier weapons, but I definitely say it's better than all of the C tier weapons. Yeah, I mean, you would expect that, considering the makeshift is down here. Yeah, the Primal SMG, I have a soft spot for this one. You know, Chapter 2 Season 6 wasn't great, but, you know, this weapon, it was pretty fun to use overall. You know, I got one of these, I'm like, ooh yeah, let's go. I got myself a Primal SMG. That's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. And yeah, if they do ever do like, maybe like they could do like a time travel kind of idea where they go to like different periods of like time. They could do like a dinosaur themed kind of thing and bring back the Primal SMG. Just as long as you don't bring back the Primal shotgun, we're good. But yeah, Primal SMG, I like this thing. I think it's pretty good. All right, can't believe we didn't have any more Chapter 2 SMGs. That's crazy. Yeah, I can't believe we didn't have any more like Chapter 2 SMGs. I mean, kind of did, but it didn't actually come out in Chapter 2, so we're gonna get to it. The Stinger SMG. This one might be our first S tier. So the reason I'm putting this in S tier is it's basically a rapid fire with more recoil but way more bullets in the clip. This thing was just like really, it was broken on launch, but even now I still think this is like a really good SMG. Like if you go in creative and you're like fighting someone, you get a Stinger SMG, you're like, oh yeah, I got a Stinger SMG, what you gonna do about it? You know, it's a good weapon. It's really solid, you know, really good weapon. Anytime I hop in creative and I get one of these, I'm like, you know what, that's pretty cool. And you know, if they do decide to bring it back, I'll be like, you know what, that's pretty cool, because you know, it's not broken anymore like it was at the beginning of Chapter 3, and it's still a pretty fun weapon. And yeah, I think it's got every quality that makes a good SMG. All right, machine pistol. I'm pretty sure this is like got the highest DPS in the game or something like this. I believe it's first or second. And you know, I'm gonna put it in A tier, below the rapid fire. It didn't have as good as accuracy as the Stinger, which is why it was worse and why people didn't really like it as much. But you know, this weapon just has like a lot of history with it, so you know, you gotta bump it up for that. You know, it was like leaked all the way back in Chapter 1. You know, there's gonna be like dual versions that never got released, like there were going to be like Mystique dual ones for the Marvel season. That could have been cool, but they never did that. And then, you know, they kept accidentally putting them in Vaulted like multiple times. It was kind of weird. And then they actually eventually came out. And yeah, it's cool. It's cool. I'm finally going to get this weapon, but it's, you know, it's not like a great weapon. It's a good weapon, don't get me wrong, but it's nothing like on like the level of these ones, you know what I'm saying? It's still really good SMG. All right, so next we got the Combat SMG. And you know, I'm just going to say right now, I think this SMG is like the best SMG ever in the game. I think this one is hella broken. Kind of glad it's not in the game right now. It was in the game last season. Didn't really take away from it because, you know, you were running around with mythics. So having a combat SMG wasn't like your biggest fear. You're like, oh, what if they have the MK7? Or what if they have a charged shotgun? You know what I'm saying? It wasn't really your biggest fear. But when this thing was first introduced, I tell you, it was so annoying because they had like drum shotguns in the same season as this thing. When they first introduced it, it was not a good time. Just my personal opinion. It was interesting. This was like part of like the first like ever one of those like voting stations where you like donate gold to vote for what weapon you'd wanted to be added. And it was actually the only time they ever did that for like a new weapon. The Combat AR won that one, which I'm kind of glad it did. Combat SMG didn't come out for a while. Came out like 2 seasons later, I believe. Yeah, 2 seasons later. And yeah, you know, it's just kind of broken. I don't think I really want to see this one come back unless like everything else in loot pool is just like completely busted. But if they just throw this in the loot pool and like every other weapon is just like an A or B tier, just like why? What's the point? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, kind of broken SMG. Alright, next we have the Charge SMG. I'm gonna throw this thing straight in D tier. They vaulted the Comet for this, which, you know, people were kind of mad about it. I'm not gonna lie. I get why they're mad about it, because this thing's absolutely garbage, but I'd rather have a garbage weapon that no one uses in the loot pool than a completely broken weapon that's just annoying to fight against. So yeah, I definitely don't think that was like an overall good change, but yeah, the charged SMG just isn't good. It just really isn't, I'm gonna be honest. You know, when they added the charged shotgun, people were saying, oh, it's not that good, it's not that good either, it's not that good either, but I think that's just because it was, you know, replacing the pump, and maybe it was a little bit broken at, like, the start, like, it wasn't really that good at the start, but you know what, the same thing happened with the combat shotgun, and that ended up being, like, the best shotgun when it was introduced. Not so much anymore, but you know what I'm saying. But the same thing cannot be said for the charged SMG. This thing is just, nope. It is not good. It is so annoying to use because you just have to sit outside someone's box while you hold this thing, hoping they don't just edit it and like 200 you. I don't even think any 200 shotguns were in the game at that time, but you know what I'm saying. They just hit you, you unload it, they just like turbo build, and then they edit again and shoot you while you're holding this. So yeah, it's definitely not like a great situation to be in, you know. I definitely don't want to be carrying this thing like at all. If I see a charged SMG on the ground, I'm not picking it up unless it's like off spawn. But you know, it's like, why who signed this off? I'm gonna be honest. I can get behind why they signed this off, because you know, you need an SMG in the game, but this was like 4 or 5 years after the game came out, so I don't get why you're signing this stuff off. Alright, Twin Mag SMG. I'm gonna throw the Twin Mag up in A. I think this weapon is really solid. I think it's really good. You know, it's a fair, balanced SMG that doesn't feel too weak and it doesn't feel too strong. It feels just right. It's just great, like, middle ground. You know what I'm saying? The gimmick with this weapon, too, is also pretty nice. You know, if you're ever in, like, a close box fight situation and you need, like, a quick reload, you know, you reload it, it's like a second, and then you go again. Then you kind of need to back up, because then it takes a while. But like every other reload is just really quick. And once they like made it so that like the twin mag weapons could like just reload, so you have like the fast clip like always ready, that was a good change. That was really good. And it's kind of a shame that it wasn't even in the game for when they made that change. So I definitely wouldn't be mad if they brought this weapon back next season. I think it would be fun. You know, I don't think anyone hated the twin mag. I don't think anybody like would be mad if the twin mag came back. You know what I'm saying? All right, next we got the scoped burst SMG. I think just having a scoped SMG in the first place isn't kind of crazy. At first I was like, you know what, this thing's pretty cool, this thing's pretty interesting, and then I realized it just wasn't. It doesn't do enough damage to warrant like having the the scope. Like the burst SMG, it does like 24 damage per hit, and like maybe it does 25 damage. Just like in one burst you can like get rid of someone with 100 HP. This thing does 14 damage, I'm pretty sure, which is crazy. Like, we'll get to the mythic later, we're gonna rank that separately, but yeah, it was just crazy. Like, I don't know how they signed that off, but you know, whatever, you know, we're all good, you know, it's gone now. The mythic got vaulted like right at the end of the season. I'm not gonna lie, I think it would have been interesting if they just like updated the vaults last season a bit more. Like, you know, throw the mythic rapid fire in there, throw the mythic scope burst in there, throw the mythic suppressed in there. You know, you threw the mythic stinger in there. Why not do the rest? All right, next we get the exotic blink mag. It's just gonna go right above the twin mag. It's just a gold twin mag that when you reload it, you get a free 0-point dash for like a second. It's not the craziest effect. I'm not too crazy about it. But yeah, it was probably like the worst weapon they added that update, but you know, it's still a good weapon. It's still like a gold twin mag at the end of the day. So like, if you get this, you're gonna pick it up. Why wouldn't you? There's no point in not picking it up. Not much else to say about that, but yeah, part of like probably the best update in recent Fortnite history, I'm gonna be honest. And then we have the other heisted exotic, and this one, I'm actually going to throw it in S tier. This thing is so good. Infinite Sprint is just so nice to have, because you could just like get across so much quicker when you have Infinite Sprint. So much nicer having that around. And you know what, actually, I'm going to rearrange this tier list a little bit. I'm actually going to throw the machine pistol down here. Yeah. That looks good. Yeah, this thing is crazy. You know, it's got all the benefits of being a P90 compact SMG, gold SMG, but it also gives infinite sprint. So, you know, why not take this? If you have 2 keys, go to a hollow chest, just take it. No one's gonna stop you. I'm just saying. Really good weapon. I love this thing. And then this one, you guys might be confused on what this is. This is the Frozen SMG, and it actually was never released, but I did have a video where I actually got to use some unreleased Fortnite weapons. So yeah, definitely go check that out. And one of those weapons was a Frozen SMG. So this thing actually, I believe, was originally going to be a rapid fire, because it shot like a rapid fire, had a rapid fire reload animation, which was kind of weird to see on a P90, but you know, whatever. And the gimmick with this weapon, because you know every exotic weapon's got to have a gimmick, is that when you shot your opponent, it would give them icy feet, which, you know, it's not horrible. It's not a horrible effect, but it's not the best effect. Kind of feels useless, you know. They might have a bit of trouble moving around, but yeah, it doesn't really change much. If you're using an SMG, you're gonna get them down. You gotta get them down quick. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's not crazy. You know, it's still a rapid fire SMG, so I gotta place it in A tier. But yeah, nothing crazy. All right, now we got the mythic SMGs. These are really disappointing. I'm gonna be honest. We're just gonna speed right through them. Gunners, Stinger SMG, probably one of the only mythics to be worse than its normal counterpart, maybe outside of the boom bow. But besides that, I'm gonna throw this one bottom of A tier. They did buff it. All right, so it kind of functions similar to a combat SMG when like near the end of last season, but the problem with this thing is that the recoil was still too much. One reason why people didn't even pick it up when it was first introduced is because the Stinger SMG had like no recoil, and this thing had crazy recoil. It was bad. Like, people only started picking it up at like the end of the last season because, you know, it's still solid, and you don't know. I'm probably not gonna find a gold combat SMG this game, but, you know, whatever. I'll take this, even though, you know, there might be something better. You never know. If you basically had any other option that was better, like Charged Shotgun or MK7, those are the only two, like, really great picks. Those are, like, the only ones that would really change up the gameplay, in my opinion, last season. You know, you could take this over, like, anything else, but it's just kind of disappointing when they make, like, mythics worse than the original version, because they're mythic weapons. They're supposed to be good. You know what I'm saying? And the same thing can be said about the mythic suppressed SMG. This thing is just a gold suppressed SMG. It does the exact same damage, so I don't get why they even bothered. Like, you could at least make it do 1 more damage, because 1 more damage would actually be good, because the gold one does 24. 25, that takes 1 less shot to kill. You know, why not just do that? That's pretty good, in my opinion. You know, it was a Halloween mythic, sort of. It was for a Halloween boss. You know, new POI. That was probably like the best part of that Fortnite. Probably the worst Fortnite we've ever had. But, you know, mythic boss POI, that's pretty cool. You know, too bad everything else about that Fortnite sucked. But, you know, I digress. And then finally, another sort of Halloween mythic. We got the mythic scoped burst, going straight in D tier. Same reason as the normal scoped burst. You know, it's just a slightly better version, and it got vaulted like halfway through the season, so it didn't even really have that much of an impact. I guarantee you, if you ask people, hey, did a mythic scoped burst SMG exist? They'd be like, did it? Oh yeah, it did. I forgot about that thing. Just not crazy weapon at all. Just like really forgettable, honestly. Like, it's just not the best. It's just not it. Alright guys, that's my tier list. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and use code WATSOG in the Fortnite item shop to support me. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.